If you want these horror stories to continue, please subscribe now. And don't forget to like. The Thompson family had been planning their road trip for months. Sarah and Daniel packed the car while their teenage kids, Mia and Lucas, argued about music. They drove through the winding highways, excited to escape the monotony of city life. But as dusk fell, an uneasy feeling settled over them. The forest lining the road seemed darker than usual, and every rustle of leaves sounded like footsteps following them. The GPS started acting strangely. The route they had planned vanished, replaced by a winding, unfamiliar path. The car's headlights seemed dimmer, shadows stretching longer. Mia insisted she saw a figure moving between the trees, but Daniel laughed it off. Yet a chill ran down his spine when he realized the figure didn't disappear, even when the car sped past. They decided to stop at a small roadside diner to regain a sense of normalcy. Inside, the air was thick, and the waitress's smile seemed forced, almost hollow. Old, cracked photographs lined the walls, families with eyes scratched out. Mia whispered, "It feels like they're watching us." Daniel tried to reassure her, but his voice trembled. Outside, fog began to creep along the road, and the diner's neon sign flickered erratically. Back in the car, the road stretched endlessly. Mile markers appeared and disappeared at random. The kids complained, but a sense of unease grew heavier with each passing minute. Sarah noticed the rearview mirror reflecting shapes that weren't in the car, and Daniel swore he heard a whisper, "Turn back." No one else admitted to hearing it, but the tension was undeniable. Night had fallen completely, and the headlights barely cut through the fog. Strange sounds echoed from the woods, twigs snapping, whispers, a distant laugh. Lucas tried to snap a photo, and the flash revealed a shadowy figure standing directly in front of the car for a moment before vanishing. Panic set in, and Daniel pressed the accelerator, desperate to escape, but the fog seemed to pull the car slower. The family reached a small, abandoned gas station. Pump handles swayed as if touched by invisible hands. The door creaked open on its own, revealing shelves of rotting, unidentifiable goods. A mirror on the wall reflected them all, but their eyes were blackened, hollow. Sarah's voice shook. "We shouldn't be here." Daniel nodded, but felt trapped, as if the road itself had turned into a maze with no exit. From the shadows of the gas station, figures began to emerge, indistinct, flickering between human and something else. The temperature dropped drastically. Mia clung to her mother, and Lucas covered his eyes. But Daniel and Sarah realized the figures weren't attacking. They were watching, waiting for a reaction. The whispers became louder, urging the family to leave, but the exit led them in circles. Hours, or maybe days, passed. The family couldn't tell anymore. Gas ran low, but the station's pumps never stopped. The car seemed heavier with every step, the road bending impossibly. Daniel tried calling for help, but no signal existed. The forest's trees seemed alive, their branches scraping the car like claws. Shadows danced on the fog as if mocking the family's fear. Suddenly, a distant light appeared on the horizon. Relief surged, but as they drove toward it, the light flickered and formed a shape, a small child, pointing them deeper into the forest. Mia screamed, "That's not real!" Yet the path twisted irresistibly toward it. Every wrong turn led them back to the gas station, and every time The whispers grew sharper, almost pleading, "You belong here." By dawn, no, they arrived at an old wooden bridge. The mist cleared, revealing the road behind them vanished, replaced by an endless cliff. The child's silhouette appeared again, smiling, with hollow eyes. The family realized that the road trip wasn't about the destination. It was a test, a trap, and the forest itself was alive, feeding on their fear. And as they stepped onto the bridge, the wind carried the whispers once more. Welcome home. The road narrowed until the trees on both sides pressed in like silent witnesses. Gravel crunched beneath the tires, yet the sound felt muted, as if swallowed by the forest. The map on the dashboard no longer updated, frozen on a stretch of road that no one remembered passing. The sky above dimmed, not into night, but into something heavier, an unnatural twilight that refused to change. A rest stop appeared without warning. Its wooden structure leaned forward, exhausted by time, its sign stripped of letters. No birds perched on the roof. No wind moved the hanging chains near the entrance. When the car stopped, the engine died instantly, as if it had reached a place it was never meant to leave. Inside the building, the air smelled old, dust, damp wood, and something faintly metallic. The walls were covered with framed photographs of families smiling stiffly at the camera. Their eyes were the problem. Every face seemed to look slightly away, as if something behind the photographer had demanded their attention at the last second. One photograph showed a family identical in number to theirs. Same arrangement, same posture. The faces were different, but the expressions carried the same forced calm. Beneath the frame, a handwritten note read, "They stopped listening." No one said a word, yet all felt the message had not been left for strangers. The hallway behind the lobby stretched longer than the building allowed. Doors lined the walls, each slightly open, revealing darkness, too thick to be empty. From one room came a faint sound, not footsteps, not voices, but the low murmur of people pretending everything was fine. A door at the end of the hall closed by itself. The sound echoed like a final decision. The lights flickered, and in that brief moment of darkness, the walls felt closer, warmer, as if the building itself had noticed them. When the lights returned, the hallway was shorter. The exit was farther away. They realized then that the place reacted to fear, not movement. Standing still made the air vibrate. Thinking about leaving made the walls creak. The building did not trap bodies. It observed choices, feeding on hesitation and denial. Outside, the forest had changed. The trees now leaned inward, their branches forming shapes too deliberate to be natural. The path back to the car twisted, repeating itself. Every turn led to the same clearing, where the rest stop watched silently, patient, and certain. Whispers began, not spoken, but remembered. Regrets resurfaced. Promises broken quietly, moments ignored. The whispers didn't accuse, they reminded. The weight of them slowed every step, making the journey forward feel like wading through unseen water. At last, the truth settled in. This journey was never about distance. The road had not led them here. They had carried this place with them. And as the forest lights dimmed further, the rest stop's door opened once more, welcoming them not as visitors, but as arrivals. The road appeared, suddenly, as if it had always been there. No signs, no lights, just asphalt cutting through silence. The place behind them vanished the moment the car moved, like it had never existed. No one spoke. They understood now. The journey hadn't been about getting lost. It had been about being shown what they tried not to see. The fear, the pauses, the strange delays, they were reminders, not punishments. When dawn finally broke, the world looked normal again. Too normal. Yet sometimes, when the engine went quiet, they could still hear it. Not a voice, not a warning, but a waiting. Some roads don't disappear. They remember you. The end.